My goodness. Today on Community Watch, we are being fed by my special guest, LaTonya Burrell. It is so good. Don't miss this show. Community Watch starts now. Welcome to Community Watch. My name is John Hershey, and I wish we had smell-o-vision for today's episode, because the aromas coming from this table are remarkable. Thanks to our very special guest, LaTonya Burrell. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh.
Again.
Now, since the last time you were on the show,
Yeah.
and it's been a few years.
It's been a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had a pretty remarkable and special development in your professional life.
Yeah.
That I think is an achievement, not just for you, but for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So you are now the executive director of the Rome Floyd Community Kitchen.
Yes. Rome Floyd County Community Kitchen. Yeah.
And for folks who don't know where that is, it's in North Rome.
Yes. It's right across the street from North Rome Baptist Church.
Right.
Yeah.
Right there by the bridge. And you may not remember this, but back in the day, that was where Troy's Barbecue was.
Yes.
Some time ago. It had other locations after that.
Right.
But it was there for a while. I think it was there when I moved to Rome, before you were born, I think. But when I found out that you got that job, I just thought, that is perfect. That is perfect for them and perfect for you. I mean, it was just like the perfect connection.
Yeah.
Of an individual with a need. I mean, it just, it doesn't always work out that way. But this time, it seemed to me, this is just miraculous. This is
It feels that way sometimes. When I think about it, and when I think about just the story of it, and just how, I was helping my sister out at her dress shop, and I was just like, I just need something. I can never stray too far from cooking, ever. And I just so happened to look on the Chamber of Commerce website, and I saw kitchen director. I was like, okay. And then I was just reading through, and I was reading through all the job descriptions. I was like, I can do all of those things. And so I immediately called Melanie Baker, and I was just calling, so everything that's on the website, that's all, that's it. She's like, yeah, that's it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you my resume right now. And, and I mean, it really just beautifully just fell into place. And it's just been and I love my job.
I knew you would. I mean, I just knew you would. I'm so glad that you do. But I just felt that you would.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know more about the community kitchen, because honestly, and I don't know that I'm different in this regard, but I see the sign, and occasionally there's a posting of this week we need.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about the community kitchen, or how it functions, or really what you do, other than plan. I mean, I don't. You have to tell me. So, tell us more about the community kitchen.
So the community kitchen itself, we have. It's located 4 Calhoun Avenue, And there's 2 buildings. The main building is, our dining hall and the kitchen. And that's where, the staff and volunteers, prep and serve lunch every day. Mm-hmm. And depending upon the weather or, just whether it's cold or whether we'll see what it's like when it's hot. But we can range between serving 80 to about 110 a day, Monday through Friday. Our volunteer and donation hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 12. And so if you have something that you would like to drop off, those hours work best because that's when we're there. But alongside the community kitchen, adjacent to the building, we also have our shower and laundry service, which is in conjunction with community kitchen, and that's where our guests can get their clothes washed and take a shower.
See, I knew nothing about that.
Yeah, the adjacent brick building where, the actual Troy's Barbecue used to be,
right.
That's where we house our shower and laundry services now.
And is that building open?
It's open to the public.
How, all 24 hours?
No. Oh. It's the same hours.
When you're open.
Right.
When the kitchen is open.
Yes.
And it is open.
Yes.
All right. So individuals between 80 and 110, you say, have lunch there every day.
Yeah, the number of guests, yeah.
Do you tend to see the same people?
Yeah.
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 And are they mostly homeless, or do you even know that about them?
It's a blend. Like, some people are homeless, some people are just food insecure, and we do have a lot of people, where it's not even, it's about food insecurity and companionship security, and just wanting to be with a crowd of people, not even, and just be in the room and just be in the mix of people, but it's a variety of people with specific and yet various needs, just all together. Yeah.
All right, so you plan a menu, I guess in part based on just what's available to you.
It's based on what's available, but I do take a look at the Weather Channel and just see what the weather's like ahead.
See, that's fascinating to me. I didn't.
Well, it's the best way to utilize your resources. If just like this cold snap that we're having.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Weather Channel Wednesday of last week when I saw it, and I was like, okay, so we're having pork and beans Monday because it's not going to get definitely not going to get above 55. So let's give them something warm to eat, and we'll see how that pans out in the summer.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see. Yeah.
So you're going to do cool stuff in the summer.
We'll try. Like, I can do it.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. So do you shop for the food that you need, or is it donated? How does that work?
It's a blend. That's one of the best parts of my job. Just, like a couple of weeks ago, I was actually getting ready to leave because I had to go somewhere else. Surprise, surprise. But I saw this blue truck backing up, and I was just like, no, we're closed. For whatever reason, I just kept the door open. And it's actually a friend that I knew that I hadn't seen in a couple of years. And he donated like 60 pounds of dried beans and 100 pounds of rice. And that's one of the great things about my job, just like the little miracles that you see every day. Like if you think to yourself, oh, we're running low on this. And just without even speaking it, it just shows up. That's one of the beautiful things. about my job.
Yeah. Now, I know that you, at least I think of you as kind of a gourmet cook, a chef, you know, a true chef.
Well, thank you.
And I know that your cooking life is much larger than the community kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that a little later in the show, but I'm just wondering how that fits with the kind of cooking you do at the community kitchen. Is that, are you able to use that same skill set and expertise to try and maybe level up some of the offerings at the community kitchen? I mean, tell me how that works.
It's still the creative vein of just, you know, what do we have available, and just giving people something that they're familiar with, but just a touch outside. Mm-hmm. You know, a good example of that is, you know, I was doing the end of the week sweep just to see what we had available to plan for, you know, the week ahead. And we had enough stuff to make beef stroganoff, but we also had bell pepper and onion. And so I was just like, we could just make a Philly cheesesteak stroganoff.
Cool.
You know, because it's still beef stroganoff, you know, but it's elevated by the bell pepper and onion and just a little extra cheese. You know, but all the components were already there. Yeah. That's my favorite part too. But but that's why I cook all the time. Like just like piecing things together and just making a puzzle out of it.
So the position, in some ways, takes really good advantage of your creative
Absolutely.
sense. Maybe in ways you hadn't anticipated, because
True.
You know, you have to, you know, in this case you have to adjust to what you have, but you still are able to, you know, try new things. And
right, and like adjusting to what you have, I mean, that's what I do at home. Like, I mean, when I come straight home from work, I don't want to have to go back out, like,
right,
you know,
right.
You know, and so you just look in your fridge and you look in your pantry, okay, well, what do I have? And what can I fit in one pot? Because I'm not doing multiple dishes. Like, I just did that, you know? Like, it blends like home cooking with like catering expertise in a very unique way that benefits everybody. Yeah. And that's really great.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that your customers really appreciate you, because not just for your cooking, but just for your spirit and
I hope so.
The person you are.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you get that feeling that
I do.
They enjoy being in that space.
Yeah, I've definitely had like a couple of guests come up to me and just share things, you know. Yeah. And that's nice. Like that's what it's all about, you know, is you know, because we serve lunch from 11 to 12. Mm-hmm. And so you want to give your guests the best hour they can possibly have. Yeah. You know, with what you have. And so if you can provide them, you know, a filling meal that's delicious, and like you can tell that thought and care was put into it, like it translates. Yeah. And they can tell. Yeah.
Well, we have to take a break here, but we have a lot more discussion with LaTonya Burrell, so please stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
I know you've had your moments of doubt and struggle, and I'm here to say I'm proud of you.
And although each one of us may take a different path, may we look back upon today as the moment we stepped into a larger world, a greater world.
You will pass this way but once. Do it right.
If ever there was a time to follow your passion and do something that matters to you, now is certainly that time.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're having a conversation with LaTonya Burrell, who is the Executive Director of the Rome-Floyd County Community Kitchen. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you are also the owner and CEO of the Seven Hills Supper Club.
Yes.
All right, now you brought some delightful things here.
Thank you.
2 plates that are just gorgeous and some amazing looking cookies. So I want you to kind of talk us through this because, all right, so these plates, is this the kind of food that your supper club patrons possibly would get, or
Yeah.
the community kitchen folks, or how would you describe them?
So the green beans and mashed potatoes, that's for everybody. The green beans are flash boiled because I don't like my green beans cooked to death.
Yeah.
The mashed potatoes have cream cheese, white cheddar, and roasted garlic. And then
I'm sorry to laugh. It just sounds, it's like a fantasy of mashed potatoes. Sort of like.
And then I have smoked chicken thighs and drumsticks, and then I have a smoked chuck roast.
And you were telling us earlier that the chuck roast was kind of an experiment.
Right, because I figured if you could smoke a brisket, why not a chuck roast? And so I just gave it a try.
And I am here to testify that it worked just fine. I felt like I needed to make sure it was okay before we could talk about it, and believe me, it's okay. Well, they're gorgeous, and the smell is amazing. So, tell us a little bit about the Seven Hills Supper Club. What is that?
So, Seven Hills Supper Club is a private food production or like company. I act as a private chef, and I work with my clients to develop a menu, whether it's for like a catered event or whether it's meal planning and making weekly meals. And I curate the recipes and I develop like based on, their specific needs, whether they're gluten-free, whether they do keto, whether they or lactose intolerant, just whatever their needs are. Mm-hmm. And then I work with them to develop recipes. And that's what we do.
All right. So, do you cook specifically for them?
Yes.
So, you could do, I guess, a single meal event, or
right, like a private, like a private catering event, for like a bridal shower or any event, or just meal planning, like. Mm-hmm. Just making your meals for the week, just whatever the client needs.
Because I'm thinking there are a lot of folks who, they're hard at work and they don't have time to devote to really quality meals,
Right.
And picking up food on the way home gets old pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But that's what I'm here for.
So you provide sort of that really, really superior meal at the end of the day that people probably are missing.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
Like I just want people to actually, sit down and just enjoy their meal.
Yeah. Well, so do you have, you said you you develop menus for your clients.
Right.
So you don't have like this is what we're having this week at the Seven Hills Supper Club. So you do have that kind of
For
thing too.
each client.
Oh, for each thing.
Right.
So it's individually.
Right. No client's menu or no event is exactly the same.
Okay. So client would contact you and say, I need meals for next week. Or
Right.
or you may need more advance notice than that. I don't know.
I would, because I would send them a food questionnaire, and that would let me know, their dietary restrictions and things like that. So that way, when I create, their menu, it's just, there's no need for omission.
Right.
It eliminates that particular step.
So how do they reach you? These people who are now watching the show saying, "Oh, I need that. I need that."
For now, you can just reach me. You can contact me on Facebook. It's my name, LaTonya Burrell.
Under LaTonya Burrell.
Right.
Okay.
Because I'm working on scaling up and just developing a website, just a lot of other opportunities for growth with Seven Hills Supper Club is in the works.
But for now,
just contact me through Facebook.
Under your name.
Yeah.
Okay, LaTonya Burrell.
Yes.
All right. So tell me the story behind these cookies.
Okay. So I'm so proud of these. Like, these cookies are basically my thesis statement.
Really?
Because it took me about 2 years to develop this recipe. And the whole reason behind it was, during Christmas, we would bake and bake and bake. But what I never liked about cookies was how they would always go dry and go stale, overnight, 2 days later. And so I was like, I just tinkered with it, because there has to be a way that you can still have a cookie that's crunchy on the outside but nice and chewy on the inside, day 3 and day 4, if they last that long. And so after 2 years and many, many, many not quite rights, I have these cookies.
Well, they look magnificent.
Thank you.
They look magnificent. And I know Brian has put a claim on some of them.
Yeah.
He's sort of I don't know if he has a degree in cookie testing, but
Okay.
he claims to be an expert in that area. So we'll give him that opportunity. But they are just, and what kind are they?
So these are chocolate chunk with some white chocolate chips, because that's what I had at the house. So yet again.
Using what's available. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, they're beautiful.
Thank you.
I do want to ask you, getting back to the community kitchen, and you mentioned the example of someone making a timely donation.
Mm-hmm.
People want to help in that way. How do they know what you need?
So typically we have our sign outside where, we'll we ask for dry beans and rice, and we got plenty of dry beans and rice. We can put water out there on the sign, and people will donate water to us. Something that I'm also working on, we have a new website, and so I'm working on creating a page specifically for, so for this week we need this, because that's really, the sign that we have by our building, while it's great, that's really our main means of, informing people what we need.
Right.
And, there's a larger generation of people who are internet savvy. And so I would like to make it available for them to just go to our website and go to the page of items that we need, just kind of streamline it.
And it might be helpful to you to be able to get some things in a little further in advance. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm assuming what's posted on that sign is what you need this week, or or soon?
Sometimes. I try to make sure that we have at least 2 weeks, before we post it on the sign, just so that we're not running low,
right.
and then posting it on the sign. That's what I try to do.
Yeah. So I can see that would prevent some stress for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the idea of creating a space where people can go routinely and see what you're needing.
Right.
And if people want to make donations, either food. Now, what about supplies other than food? Are those things? Are those things you need too?
Yes, because as I mentioned earlier, we do have a shower and laundry service, so we're always in need of laundry detergent. Shower detergent, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant for men and women. Those are all things that are in constant supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And folks can just bring those things by
Monday through Friday, 9 to 12.
9 to 12, Monday
yes,
through
please.
Friday.
We do have some donors who leave stuff, and fortunately I'm there first thing in the morning, so I can just grab it. But
right.
yeah, but if you could please, 9 to 12, Monday through Friday, that would be great.
Well, I have to say, now we've known each other since your days
2008
at Georgia Highlands.
I know.
Yeah, when you were one of the best students we had at Georgia
Really?
Highlands.
Well, thank you.
Well,
You think so highly of me at all times.
well, you're proving it constantly. So you're justifying it, but I remember even in those days, you were talking about your culinary dreams. You're wanting to have a restaurant or a bakery, or so at least in my mind, I feel like you have found a place where you're doing great community work, but also you're doing this for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you seem so happy.
I am.
Yeah.
This is great. I get to cook all day. It's great.
Well, I know the community kitchen is thrilled to have you, and I hope if you'll let us know when you have that website together.
I will.
And we'll let folks know. And in the meantime, the sign is there.
Yeah.
And
also, we are in the middle, actually towards the end of our first food drive of the year. Lend a hand, give a can. It's a food drive. It's our first food drive of the year.
okay.
We've been working, we've reached out to local organizations and local companies and local churches, and we provided them a list of items that we need, and that ends March 31st. So you have just about 2 weeks.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So that's another way to
Yeah.
help. And for folks who are interested in your services at the Seven Hills Supper Club,
Yep.
Facebook, LaTonya Burrell.
Yep.
And they can have magnificent food just like this. So thank you.
Thank you.
And it's been great to have you on the show, and I'm really excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. That is our show for this week on Community Watch. I want to thank my guest, LaTonya Burrell, and I want to thank you for being with us. We've got some serious cookie testing to do right now, so we will say goodbye to you, but we'll see you next time. Bye now.